Hello everyone, in this video we are just going to program our microcontroller AT89S52 based on 8051 architecture for generating timer interrupt for every 10 milliseconds in the same microcontroller. Let's get started. So I'm opening the Keil Microvision IDE. So as of now, in the header file, we have configured all the port registers separately. These are the port registers declaration, and these are the separate bits of port pins declared individually. Now, from the previous lecture of external interrupt, we have configured the registers required for that, right? So this is the header file that we used in the previous lecture of external interrupt implemented in AT89S52 microcontroller. So in this, you can see this is the header file. You can see AT89S52. This is the header file opened in Notepad. So here we have declared two registers mainly, interrupt enable register along with the TCON register. And following that, these are the separate bits for IE register, interrupt enable register. You can see this is the global interrupt enable bit, timer 2 interrupt enable bit, serial interrupt enable bit, timer 1 interrupt enable bit, and external interrupt 1 enable bit, timer 0 interrupt enable bit, and this one is external interrupt 0 enable bit. And following that, these are the LSB bits of this TCON register, timer control register, that is IE1, IT1, IE0, IT0. I am just going to copy all these things for my current project. I am going to paste it right over here below the port declaration. And we also want to configure this TCON register fully. Here we have only configured the LSB bits of this register. So I am going to the previous PPT, previous lecture PPT. Here you can see in the TCON register, the fourth bit is TR0 and the fifth bit is TF0. Following that, TR1, and then we will be having TF1 as the seventh bit. So I'm just going to declare this right over here. S bit of TR0 equal to the next address 0x 8b plus 1 8c, and then I'm just going to declare TF0 equal to 0x 8d, and then I'm just going to declare TR1 equal to 0x 8d plus 1 8e, and next bit is TF1 equal to 0x 8f. So that's all about the TCON register, TR0, TF0, TR1, TF1. So these two bits are meant for timer 0 that we discussed in the previous two lectures, and these two bits are useful for timer 1. And following that, we have another one more important register for using the timer, that is TMOD register. So I'm just going to declare this register also with the address 0x89, TMOD equal to 0x89. So we have successfully configured the registers required for using the timer. So coming to our program, I'm coming to the main.c. Initially what I'm going to do is I'm just going to disable the internal pull-ups of P1.0 because I'm just going to use this particular pin. So I'm just going to write port 1 underscore P0 equal to 0. So this port 1 underscore P0 is the name given for the bit P1.0 by us, right? So I'm just going to clear this. I'm just disabling the internal pull-ups of this pin. So whatever the pin it may be, if you want to use that particular pin as output, you just want to initialize the value of the pin by 0 in this microcontroller. So there may be internal pull-ups available for each and every pins in this microcontroller, unless if it is an open drain pin, all the other pins, GPIO pins, will be having an internal pull-ups. So for disabling that, you just want to initialize the pin value to be 0 first. if it is an input pin, you don't worry about this concept because we will be voluntarily giving a pull-up resistor for that pin. So nextly what we are going to do is, from the previous lecture we calculated some of the register values, right? They are nothing but TL0 equal to 0xFE and TS0 equal to 0xDB and T mode equal to 0x01. So these two timer data buffer values are calculated for generating timer interrupt for every 10 millisecond in this microcontroller. I hope you remember these calculations that we did. So the value is 9217. Final value that we got is 65535 minus 9217 equal to 56318 is the load value for generating 10 millisecond timer interrupt in this microcontroller. So I'm just going to copy all these values along with this T mode register value. So in this T mode register, I'm just reminding you, that is, we are just setting the mode of the timer to be mode 1, which is nothing but we are using the timer in 16-bit format. So I'm just copying all these three statements and I'm pasting it over here. So one more thing that I forgot is, I forgot to declare these two registers, TL0 and TS0. And let's go to the datasheet of this microcontroller for finding the addresses of these two registers. You can see this is the user manual of 8089. You can see this is the user manual of 8089C51 microcontroller. The TL0 is located at 8A and TH0 is located at 8C. So I'm just declaring that with the SFR keyword over here. TL0 equal to 0x8A, TH0 equal to 0x8C. Now after this, what I want to do is, I just want to enable the timer interrupt, right? So coming to the IE register, that is the interrupt enable register, you can see ET0 is the timer 0 interrupt enable bit. So I just want to write 1 to this bit for enabling the timer 0, ET0 equal to 1. And following that, as I said, we just want to enable this EA bit in this IE register for enabling all the interrupts in this microcontroller. So this is a global interrupt enable bit. So you want to enable this bit irrespective of whatever the interrupt you are working on. And after that, we just want to start running the timer by setting the TR0 bit. We know that TR0 is the timer 0 run control bit available in the TCON register. We have already declared the S bit for this. I'm starting the timer. So that's all about the initialization section. Let's implement the timer interrupt subroutine. So similar to the interrupt function that we wrote in the external interrupt lecture, we are just going to write the timer interrupt subroutine function also. Void username, you can give whatever name you want here. I'm just giving it as SM Academy. Following that, you just want to give the braces. Similar to the same function subroutine that we wrote in the external interrupt lecture, give a space here. Following that, you just want to mention this is an interrupt function by writing the keyword interrupt. Following that, you just want to mention the number for that interrupt. So that number is given in the datasheet of this microcontroller. You can see for external interrupt 0, 0 is the number, and for timer 0 interrupt 1 is the number. Similarly, this number goes on like this. So we are using timer 0 interrupt. So I am just going to write 1 to it. 1. That's it. This is the format for writing timer 0 interrupt subroutine function. And inside this, what I'm going to do is, I'm just going to write only one statement that I'm going to toggle the state of P1.0. So port 1 underscore P0 equal to port 1 underscore P0 XOR of 1. So for understanding this statement, you just want to remember the XOR gate truth table. So this is the truth table of XOR gate. So same inputs will give me 0 and different inputs will give me 1 in this XOR gate. You can see 0 0 and 1 1 will fetch me 0 in the output. 0 1 or 1 0 will fetch me 1 in the output. So this is the XOR gate. So now for understanding this, you just want to remember the XOR table. So this is the XOR table. In this XOR table, you can see the same inputs will give me 0 and different inputs will give me 1. 0 0 or 1 1 will fetch me 0 as the output. 0 1 or 1 0 will fetch me the output 1. So this is the truth table for XOR gate. Now let's try to understand this. There are only two states, right? Whether it could be 0 or 1. Let's take the first case. When it is 0 initially, when this line is executed, you can see I will be having 0 as the value over here. So 0 XOR of 1 will be fetching me the output 1, right? So as per the truth table, I will be having a value of 1 as the result of this statement, and this 1 will be stored in the port 1 underscore P0, that is in the same bit. So the pin becomes high in the first case. So let's take the second case. Now assume that the pin is in high state and this statement will be executed. So here I will be having a value of 1. As I said, the pin will be assumed to be 1. So 1 XOR of 1 will give me the output value 0, right? So this is the XOR table. Same value will give me 0. So this is a format for toggling a bit or a pin in this microcontroller, and you can use this format for toggling the state of any GPIO pin in this microcontroller. And after executing this, I am just going to reload the timer buffer values TL0 and TH0. So that's it. I'm just going to compile the code. You can see the compilation is done with 0 errors and 0 warnings. Now I'm just going to explain you about the working principle of this program. Now initially what happens is the program execution executes all the lines over here. All the registers will be provided with the respective values and all the GPIO pins will be initialized. And after when I run the timer, the execution enters into this while of 1 and it will be busy executing all the lines available inside this infinite loop while of 1. But here in our case we have written nothing inside the while of 1, so it will be doing nothing and it will be staying there stagnant. So as the timer is started over here, so after completing this statement, the timer will be parallelly running irrespective of the program execution occurring over here. So the timer will be counting from dBFE, that is nothing but 56,317 as we calculated in the previous lecture. It will be calculating from 56,318 and it will be reaching the maximum value 65535, that is nothing but 0xFFFF. When it reaches the maximum value, the timer will be interrupting the processor. So the processor stops or pauses the execution occurring over here and it will be going to this interrupt handler, that is the timer interrupt handler. And when it reaches here, it will toggle the state of the pin P1.0 and after that it will reload the timer load buffer values, and after executing all the lines over here, the processor will be coming back to the same position where it left and it will be resuming the same process what it was doing. So this is the routine, and you can see clearly that as per the calculations that we did, this interrupt will be interrupting the processor for every 10 millisecond delay. As we know, if the timer starts counting from dBFE or from 56,318 and it reaches 65535 only after 10 millisecond as per our calculation. So for every 10 millisecond this timer interrupt will be occurring and this pin will be toggled for every 10 millisecond in this program. So this is the logic. This pin P1.0 will be toggling its state for every 10 millisecond. Let's test this program in the Proteus simulation software. I am opening the Proteus simulation software. Click on this icon to open the schematic capture tab. Here we just want to choose the microcontroller that we are working on. Click on this components mode icon and then click on this P icon and choose the microcontroller 8089C51, which is a similar microcontroller to our 8089S52 that we are working on hardware. Click on OK and place the microcontroller over here. For viewing the time period, we are just going to use the oscilloscope available in this Proteus. Click on this Instruments tab and then choose this oscilloscope. Place the oscilloscope over here and connect the A terminal of the oscilloscope to the pin P1.0. Double click this microcontroller and change the crystal frequency to be 11.0592. Click on this icon to load the hex file to this microcontroller. Go to the project location where you have stored the project files. Inside the project folder, inside objects folder, you will find this hex file. Click on this and click on open. Click on OK. Now when I play the simulation by clicking on the play button in the left bottom corner of the window, you can see the oscilloscope will be visible over here. If it is not visible, just go to the debug window and check this digital oscilloscope checkbox. Now click on this cursor for viewing the time period. I am just scrolling my mouse for zooming the pulse. You can see 0 seconds. This is the starting point. I'm just placing a marker over here. So this is mentioning 0 seconds. And I'm going to the other extreme end where the pin becomes low. Here you can see I'm getting 10.29 millisecond. So for every 10.29 millisecond, the state of the P1.0 pin is toggling. So it is staying high for 10.29 millisecond and for another 10.29 millisecond it is staying low. So in this manner you can use this timers of this 8089S52 for producing accurate delays as well as for producing pulses of required time period. So I hope you understood the timer interrupt concept. See you in the next lecture. Thanks for watching. See you in the next lecture.